up?
Welcome. Have a seat. Have a seat.
What's up, guys? Okay, ask me a question. What?
She wants to know what your favorite color is.
Uh,
It's a good intro. Good icebreaker.
wow. I don't care, whatever color you're wearing.
Machete doesn't see color. Hey, really appreciate you coming to Victoria Comic Con.
Thank you. Thank
I know
you.
this is far east of LA, and we appreciate you making the trip.
First of all, I love Texas, and my whole family's from San Antonio.
Is that
All
right?
of them, yeah, every one of them. Everyone but me. My grandfather was so sure that Texas was going to succeed from the Union that in the 40s, anytime one of the family women would get pregnant, he would bring them to Texas so the babies would be born here. My dad was out in LA philandering and got my mom pregnant, and then he came back here, and I was born in California. So every time I got in trouble, they would just go, well, from California, you know. So, so about 3 years ago, they made me an honorary Texan, you know.
Is that right?
Yeah, an honorary Texan in Austin. Hello? Who's that?
I have no idea. We're being invaded. What is going on? Somebody put something in my coffee.
Did we get that?
Yeah. So you were born in Echo Park?
Yeah, born in Echo Park. I lived there for about, well, I got thrown out of LA when I was 13. I got sent to Texas, and I stayed here about 3 months, and then I went back to California.
I got kicked out of New Mexico when
Yeah.
I was about that age. They sent me to Texas too. They're like, go live with your dad. We don't know what's going on with you.
So I did live with my aunt. My cousin Sonny should be coming here pretty soon. He's from San Antonio. He said he was coming down. So
Excellent, excellent. So I know you're a dad. Got a bunch of kids.
3 kids, great kids. My one son is an electrician. He's into electronics. My son Gilbert has a band called Gold. They're getting to release some records. My daughter has a vintage clothing she sells on the internet. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So she gets mad when I call them old clothes. They're not old, Dad. They're vintage. Okay. She keeps taking my Pendleton shirts.
Oh man, yeah, those are legit.
Those will
man.
sell, Dad.
Yeah, $60 shirts, man. It's 60, 80 bucks for those things. So, you know, I don't know if, you know, how much everybody knows about your life, but I know you've had ups and downs, and you've kind of found.
She's back.
Thank you. Yes. Got that.
That's fun. I like this.
So anyway, let's try to just talk over that. And you know, you've seen ups and downs, and you've kind of found your way. You found your way back to the top through being creative and through expression. And just want you to touch a little bit on that and talk about what you know. That's kind of a community service that goes unappreciated. You know.
I kind of feel that the first part of my life was a character study, and the second part of my life, you know, I didn't play well with others, and I went to prison, and then I went back to prison, and then I went back to prison, and I came out. I dedicated my life to helping other people, just completely dedicated my life to helping other people and saying the Lord's name every day. And so far, it's worked out really well.
Worked out a lot better, huh?
Everything that's ever happened to me, everything good that has ever happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything. So.
No, that's real talk. I feel the same way. I've also been there. I didn't go back 3 times, but I did 6 straight, almost
Yeah.
between county and state pen. And I came out of there 3 months before I was out. I had a friend that came out and said, "You got to do something,
Yeah.
man. When you played music, you were fine. When you stopped playing music or you stopped being creative is when you fell off." And it's like, you got to get back on that road. And I got into making independent films and haven't looked back, and always help other people and try to raise other people up. And that's how you come back out of that.
I honestly believe that one of the ways to success is giving back. We have to give it away to keep it. And if you look like in Hollywood, all the really selfish actors, all the guys that are always in trouble, they're really selfish.
Yeah.
And my whole deal is just giving it back. You know, I started a record company called Danny Trejo Music, and the reason I started is I met this little kid. She was like 15 years old, and her mom were living in a battered woman's shelter, and she could sing her ass off, just sing, and never had a lesson, nothing. So we took her under our wing, and she turned 18, and instead of turning her over to a record company, we started one. So her name's Twixie, and we've got about 8 records we're getting ready to release. So.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Yeah. Well,
Hi, I hear a baby.
I'm gonna stop hogging Danny Trejo. I know all you people out there have waited a while, and you got your questions lined up. So what we're gonna do is, we got Fabe out here with the microphone. Fabian, where you at, man? This guy right here, Fabe the Babe, Babian. Yeah. What we're gonna do is, if you got a question, come down. Fabian's got the mic. If you guys want to form a line, that's cool too, because we can't see you out here. These lights are super bright. So Fabe, just, you decide. What do you want to do? Raise hands or just form a line? Probably one at a time is better. So if you can eye for hands and call that. Cool.
Danny,
Yeah.
big fan, by the way. Loved you since Spy Kids. When is the next Machete coming out?
You see?
Said, when's the next Machete coming out?
Ha, you know what? We're not that far from Austin. Let's all call Robert Rodriguez and say, Robert, come on. He's writing it, he keeps writing it, and we're gonna try to do a Machete in space deal, so that's gonna be fun. They said, why are you going to space? I said, James Bond went to space.
That's right.
Hi, Danny. It's a pleasure to actually have you here in Victoria. Just want to say thank you so much for that. Over the years, you've had various roles. What's been your most favorite? And if you could work in a future project, something like, I don't know, Star Wars or something like that, is there some director that you'd like to work with?
What's your favorite role? And what's your favorite role? And is there a director that you haven't worked with that you'd like to work with?
My favorite, I gotta say, I would have loved the movie Machete even if I wasn't in it. So I kind of love that one, but I think one of my favorite roles was the uncle in Spy Kids. And, because that gave me a whole brand new audience, and they're still watching it. I have 5-year-old kids coming up. I love Uncle Machete. Damn, did that movie 15 years ago. And I think, you know what, one of the directors just got nominated for, I'm trying to think of his name, the Mexican guy. What's his name? Alex. Yeah, he just got nominated for Best Picture, Best Director. With
Revenant?
Yeah, Revenant. Yeah, so I'd love to work with him.
Jake, how do you say that dude's name? I don't know. You're fired.
He's a good dude anyway. Great
Way to go,
movie.
Jake.
Inuado or something like that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I'd like to work with him.
You're hired. Jake, swap places. So there you go. What do we got?
Any more questions, guys? Anyone? Give me a sec. I'm going.
Be careful walking around up there.
I'm good. Thank you,
Dark.
sir.
I told Fabian I was going to call him and go from left top to right bottom.
I took an energy drink,
Back
so I'm
and
good right
forth.
now.
Hey, Danny. Ooh. Is this working? Okay. If you could play any role,
I don't think he heard you. Say it again. She said, hey, Danny.
Hey, if you could play any role that you get to choose, like your dream role, what would it be and why?
You know what? I would love, I love Westerns, first of all. And there is a movie, it was called Valdez is Coming. It's an old movie with Burt Lancaster, I think. And I think it's a cowboy movie, and I loved it. And I think if I were to do any role, it would be that one.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Got one over here.
Hi, Danny. I was just wondering. I'm a big fan of like all your Netflix, your badass movies. One first question is that more of who you are now, like in a movie? Like, is that more your character from that? And then the second question is, if you had one tip for an entrepreneur or somebody who's trying to live their dream on like giving back and helping communities and stuff like that, what would you say the first tip would be?
That's a hell of a question.
You're asking an old guy. I forgot the first part.
Here, the first part, the second part was advice about a young entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Just go for it. I don't care what it is. I just, my whole mind just tells me I would rather shoot for the moon and miss than aim for the gutter and make it. And I mean, it's like when I go talk to high schools and stuff, it's like they always ask me, you know, how do you get into the just do it. You know, don't just think about it, do it. It's like, and
don't let life just happen to you.
yeah, do it. You just do it.
You can control life completely. You just have to be driven.
Don't let, you know, the sky's the limit, especially where we live. You know what I mean? It's like we can do anything we want, period. And that we're only as limited as our mind.
Or as the people we surround ourselves with.
Another question.
How much fun was it to do From Dusk Till Dawn? Because that's my favorite movie ever of all time. Also,
I love From Dusk to Dawn. That was
Everybody
just
should.
every club bar, every club or every bar I go into, inevitably somebody's gonna say, "This bar is for bikers and truckers only." You know? But there's a, you know, Robert has that. We have that TV series on El Rey Network, and it has From Dusk to Dawn. That's a lot of fun. I played the regulator.
What about Inspector Holiday? Frankie Latina's movie, Modus Operandi? If you haven't seen Modus Operandi,
That was I did a film with in fact, my son is palled up with him
Yeah,
a couple
Frankie.
times. Gilbert Trejo, and Frankie Latina. We did a film called Modus Operandi, and God, he was like, "Don't ever let your son direct you in anything." Yeah. I got my kids, Dad, you're overacting. Shut up, I'll beat your ass.
it's a great movie. It's got Mark Borchardt in it,
Yeah.
who made the documentary Great America, or like, now I can't remember the title. You got to see it. Modus Operandi is great. Check it out.
Yeah,
Another
Frankie
question.
Latina. Man.
Yeah, Frankie's a great filmmaker. He shot it all on Super 8, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure, or iTunes. It's out there. Got any more questions?
Hey, Danny, I just want to say thanks for coming out, man. It's awesome seeing you in real life. I have two questions, actually. One is, how did you feel to be part of like Blood In, Blood Out, which was a realization of the Chicano culture in East LA? I wanted to see how it changed you in playing the role that you played, plus with everybody else. And the second question is, what's the story on the chick tattoo on your chest?
What?
He said he wants you to just kind of talk about, going through Blood In, Blood Out, and what that meant to you, and also the tattoo on the chest.
Blood In, Blood Out was a serious, for me, it was kind of a going back in time. Because I walked that yard in San Quentin, and we filmed you talk about ironic. In San Quentin, when you're in the South Block, you have to be good for 30 days to get out of the South Block and go into one of the better blocks. Well, I stayed in the South Block almost 3 years. I was just never good. And my cell was C550, which is the last cell, last block. We filmed in cell C 45, 46, 47, 48, and 550, you know. So it was kind of amazing to go back there and see guys that I knew, you know, and it really showed me. It's funny, it's like there was an incident where they wanted us to wear these orange vests, you know, all the actors to wear the orange vest. And me and a guy named George Perry, who had been in San Quentin, we immediately put on the orange vest. And the other actors were like, no, I don't like that orange vest. It disturbs my character. It doesn't. And so Taylor Hackford said, Danny, would you explain what them orange vests are for? I said, what the orange vests are for is in case there's an incident and they have to shoot, they won't shoot at the orange vest. And me and George laughed our ass off because them actors could grab another vest, you know. Like, so everybody put on the orange vest, you know. But that was that one, and that was one of my favorite movies also. And what was the other question?
Danny, do you still
The girl
keep...
on my chest.
No, the girl.
The
Yeah.
girl on my chest was done by a guy named Harry Super Jew Ross, who's passed away, and we did it. First, we started it in San Quentin. We did the outline of it, and then I got kicked out of San Quentin. I went to Folsom, and Harry, he was like a scene from West Side Story. Don't let anybody touch it. I'll be there. I'm in chains on the bus. Okay, I'll wait for you. And then, so he showed up in Folsom about 6 months later, and we did a little more. And there was a big riot in Folsom, and they kicked everybody. You know, they sent people to different institutions. I went to Soledad, and then he ended up in Soledad about 8 months later, and we finished it. So it was 3 penitentiaries, about 2.5 years, you know. And that's the story on the jet. And it's funny, I gotta tell you this. Harry hated this tattoo because it was his first tattoo. And you know, like when you start tattooing, you eventually he became an unbelievable tattoo artist, fine line, and he don't let anybody shut up. It's made him famous, you know. And then when he passed away, they did a big article about my tattoo. And it is the most, International Tattoo Magazine is the most recognizable tattoo in the world, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is. From inside.
Yeah.
I had all my work done inside, and I still, to this day, that guy, he just got out, he did about 20 years, and he gets out, and he's getting married in a couple of months, and he calls me all the time, he's like, how many people ask about my tattoos? Do you tell them about me?
Any other questions?
Do you still keep in touch with anyone, like any of the cast from Blood In, Blood Out?
Do I still keep in
Keep in
touch
touch
with
with the cast. From Blood In, Blood
you
Out.
know what? There's only 2 of us that were kind of like Benjamin Bratt and Ving Rhames and God, oh come on! I'm trying to think of his God. I'm trying to think of Garland Green, Steve Buscemi. So I kind of those are kind of like 3 of my friends. From Con Air. That was from Con Air. It's funny. I took Steve Buscemi to San Quentin because we did a movie called Animal Factory, and somebody says, "Can I be in your movie?" One of the inmates, and he goes, "Sure." And he says, "Well, give me your cell number." So he said, "Let me give you my cell number." So he gave him, and so Steve in the car on the way back, he goes, "This guy gave me his cell number. What is cell B29?" And he goes, "Steve, that's his cell number." not his cell phone number. You know. Steve thought he was giving him his cell phone number. You know. Any other questions?
Have you ever had any bad experiences with other celebrities?
He wants some dirt. He wants to know some dirt. The question
Some
was,
dirt.
have you had any bad? It was eloquently pitched.
Yeah.
He said, "Have you ever had any bad experiences with celebrities?"
You know what? Most celebrities know that I'm not like really Hollywood, you know, and they treat me with kind of like a lot of, they treat me with a lot of respect, you know, so, because y'all snatch them. So, but you know, they're all pretty cool. They're all pretty cool with me.
I think most people know your story too, and it's very compelling. And like, I think you do garner a lot of respect. I mean, a lot of those guys that are actors and celebrities that kind of grew up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You know, Hollywood is a really funny lady. I mean, she'll make you really think that you're something. You know, it's like she'll just really seduce you into thinking you're. And a friend of mine, Eddie Bunker, who was an unbelievable writer, and in fact, he was in The Longest Yard, and he was in The Long Riders, and he wrote a couple of books. He wrote one book called Education of a Felon. If you ever want to read a good criminal novel about all of us, and he said that the whole world can think you're a movie star, but you can't. And I think that was the best advice I've ever gotten. You know, because, I mean, like sometimes when I'm in Vons and somebody will come up, "What are you doing here?" I go, "Buying chicken." No, have you ever been to, like, they have those rotisserie chickens? I love those things, man, with rotisserie chicken, some tortillas, and some jack cheese, and that's it. That's me.
Woo! They got that at HEB here.
Okay.
The split chicken with the jalapenos and onions, $6.99.
What are you doing? I'm buying chicken. I'm not here. I like this chicken. So the whole world can think you're a movie star, but you can't. You know what I mean? And my job, I do movies, and it's the same as the plumber, as the maintenance guy, as the electrician. It's my job. I just love doing it. Any other questions?
Yeah, hola Danny, how you doing? Hey, how old are you, man?
What?
Do
How
I?
old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? How old are you? Over here. How old are you?
How old are you?
Oh, no, you can't be asking that. Damn. If I tell you, I have to like only find girls that have Huelito complexes. You like grandfathers? No. I'm 71. But I just finished playing a 50-year-old gangster, okay?
So what else you got working? I know you got this taco thing
You know,
going on that's not vegan tacos.
No, you know what?
We got to the bottom of that.
But we're vegan friendly, and there's some gluten free because every
You
time
live in California. Let's not front. We know what's up. You're trying to feed everybody.
Well,
Tacos is a number game.
Let me tell you something.
It's
I
volume.
gotta tell you like it is. Every time when we go out, we'll go out with like 6 or 7 people to a restaurant. And inevitably somebody say, "Well, I don't eat meat." And well, you're not from Texas. So we just pleasing everybody. And we have our first one is going in on La Brea. The next one, 4 months from now, goes in on Cahuenga between Hollywood and Sunset. And we have that. We have a taco, Trejo's Tacos. And then, what else I got? I got the record company going, music company going, and doing films. I love doing films. Lately, I've been doing a lot of cartoons, and I do voices, so that's been a lot of fun.
I bet that's great. That's a nice change of pace.
Yeah,
Isn't it
it's
nice
just-
that with
yeah, 'cause
acting there's always ways
what's
to
cool
switch
is
it
when
up?
you do voices, you can show up in pajamas. It doesn't matter. No makeup, no just, rah, you know. And this one I just did, and I played a stork. And it's a stork that falls in love with the baby it's supposed to deliver, so it keeps it. And I know it's weird. So,
I was just doing the math on that.
so I had to be like really emotional, telling this little baby, "But I love you so much," you know. And I told the director. The director said, "You know, Danny, we know you're not used to doing something this emotional." And I said, "I know. Usually it's just like, all right, I'll kill all of you." You know, that's makes it simple. You know what I mean? But so I had to like talk to this little baby, and it's really gonna be a lot of fun cartoon.
That's amazing. Constantly getting to change it
Warner
up.
Brothers. You know.
What's it called?
Any other question?
Yeah.
Hi, Danny. I wanted to ask you about your role in Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's actually my
El Cucuy.
ultimate. It's actually my ultimate favorite movie, and I just wanted to know what you thought about that role in that certain movie.
Well, in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I played El Cucuy. Now, in Mexican folklore, El Cucuy is the boogeyman. And so, with my kids, I don't know if this is a good parent or not, but when they would mess up, "Hey, I'm putting you outside with El Cucuy." Yeah, you're going, that's where you're gonna be out there. And so, when I got this role, I'm reading it, my daughter jumps up, "Wow, you're El Cucuy!" And so, that was a great movie. We did that in San Miguel Allende in Mexico, which is this beautiful kind of almost European town in Mexico, and they almost everybody almost speaks English, you know. So it was just a lot of fun being down there.
Hi, Danny. Another question. Kind of a strange question. Have you ever had a ghostly experience, whether on set filming or staying at a hotel or at your house or one of the houses?
A ghostly experience?
Yes.
I'm Mexican. No? All of us have. When I was like 5, 6, and 7, we lived in a house that everybody said was haunted because there was buried treasure. And the funniest thing in the world was one day I came home from school, and they had the whole kitchen full of dirt because they dug underneath the kitchen, because the house was about. So it was just kind of, you know, but I've never you've seen ghosts, but I know they're there.
Danny, I'm the guy running around giving the mic to everybody. I just have to tell you that I think you're a great actor. I'm right over here if you can't see me. I'm over here. You're a great actor, great movies. My favorite character would have to be Tortuga from Breaking Bad. That's one of my favorite characters you played, and it's a great one. It's a good one.
That was so much fun. I remember my agent says, "You're going to do one of Hollywood's first." I said, "What's that?" She says, "You're going to cross the desert on a tortoise." I thought, "What would be a big tortoise?" She says, "Well, just your head." And so, but some lady in England has made these little turtles with my head on it. Bitch is making a fortune. God, I hope she sends me a cut. But so my son gave me one. I thought, wow, that's cool.
All right, we got to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys sticking around here and talking to Danny Trejo. We're really glad to have you, Danny.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much, man.
You guys stick around. We got a bunch more, Mr. Trejo. It's been a real pleasure and an honor to be up here with you.
All right.